And welcome back. In today's video I want to talk about getting a student visa for Brazil. So a student visa in Brazil works in general like student visas for most countries. So first of all you need to apply for a course, get accepted, and then once you've got that, then you can start applying for the visa. Now this visa is just temporary, so usually it's granted for like 6 months to a year. But if your course is longer than a year, you're able to extend that visa beyond a year. But if you're planning to study for a short time, so less than 90 days, then for a lot of foreigners, you don't need to apply for a student visa. You can just enter as a tourist, study for less than 90 days, and then leave. And you don't have to go through the whole hassle of applying for a student visa. But this depends on which nationality you are, so you need to check that. And then again, if you want to study for more than 90 days, then you do need a student visa. Now to get a student visa, there are kind of three main places you can study at. You can study at a public university, a private university, or a language school. So I'm just going to go through a bit more detail on each one here. So first of all, a public university. So this is the cheapest option because you don't pay anything to study at a public university in Brazil. At these universities, you're able to study for a bachelor, a master, a PhD. All of that is accepted for a student visa. And in Brazil, you have lots of public universities spread around the whole country, and they offer all the usual courses from medicine to engineering, economics, and even languages. So it is possible to study Portuguese, for example, at a public university. But because these universities are free, and also they usually have a very good reputation, the competition for the places is very fierce. In order to get into these universities, you need to either do an exam called ENEM or vestibular, and it all depends on which course and which university you're applying to. And so these exams cover a whole range of subjects, from math, science, history, literature, Portuguese, English. So it's a whole range of subjects, and the students who get the highest grade are offered the places at the universities. Now, I think for a foreigner, these exams are super difficult because, first of all, your Portuguese needs to be very good. Then you need to have knowledge of the history of Brazil, Portuguese literature. So unless you're a foreigner who's fluent in Portuguese and you've studied these things, it's going to be super difficult to get a good grade. And just to give you an example, so my wife, she did vestibular for public universities. She got pretty good grades at school, but she found the vestibular very difficult, and she had to attempt it twice before she got a good enough grade to be offered a place at university. And in terms of the best public universities, so in Sao Paulo, there's the University of Sao Paulo, which is ranked very highly. And then there's the Universidade de Campinas, so Unicamp. That's also got a very good reputation. That's also in Sao Paulo. And so getting a places at these top universities is very difficult. But then you got lots of other ones spread around the country. So you've got a public university in Florianópolis, for example, in the south, in Santa Catarina in the south. You've also got URGS in Porto Alegre, which is even further south, and then you've got universities in the north as well. But I think in general, for foreigners to get a place at these universities, it's pretty difficult. So then the second option is private universities. Now these universities are a bit simpler to get a place. You still need to do the ENEM or the vestibular exam, but getting a place here is a bit simpler. And you've got thousands of these private universities in Brazil. Some of the top ranking ones again are in Sao Paulo. So you got PUC-SP, which is a big private university in Sao Paulo. You've got PUC-RS, which is a private university in Rio Grande do Sul. So you've got various private universities that have got a very good reputation. And in terms of the cost of going to these private universities, obviously it depends on which university you want to go to and which course you're going to do. So for example, in PUC Sao Paulo, if you want to study medicine, it's about 10,000 reais per month, which is $2,000 per month. If you want to study something else like business administration, that is just under 4,000 reais per month, which is $800 per month. So you can see it's a lot cheaper than studying in America, but still it's not cheap, and you will be spending thousands of dollars. But then if you apply to kind of smaller private universities and do other courses, then you can spend a lot less. So there are courses at small universities that charge 500 reais per month. That's $100 per month. Obviously, you won't be studying medicine or business management, but there are courses out there which are a lot cheaper. So studying at these private universities, you can spend very little money or a lot of money. It all depends on what you choose. But you still need to do these entrance exams. You can get a much lower score and still get a place, but it still needs to be done. So then the third option is a language school. So here you can just move to Brazil with a simple Portuguese and then study Portuguese at a language school. So again, there are thousands of language schools in Brazil. Some are very big and exclusive, and others are much smaller and simpler. Now, unfortunately, you can't just come to Brazil, and study for an hour a week and think you get a student visa. No, so they've got a requirement that you need to study at least 15 hours per week at a language school, and you actually have to go to the language school and study. So it can't just be online learning. So there are loads to choose from. There's Fala Brazil School, there's Caminhos Language School, so there's loads. I mean, if you just Google it, you'll find lots. And so with these schools, they kind of help you with the student visa application as well. So, because if you apply to a public university or something like that, they're not going to help you at all with your visa application. But these language schools, they know that if they want to get customers, then they need to help the clients get a visa so they can come over and study. Now, in terms of cost of language school, it varies a lot, but a lot of them charge around the 2,000 reais per month. So that's $400 per month. And for that, you get group lessons and you study at least 15 hours a week. But there are cheaper ones as well, especially if you don't study in kind of the Sao Paulo, Rio area, but kind of further north or further south. You can pay less than $400 per month. Then you obviously got some really exclusive language schools as well that charge a lot more than $400 a month. Okay, so then in terms of the process of applying for a student visa, so like I said, first of all you need to get a place at university or a language school, and then you can start the actual process of applying for the visa. Now you apply for this visa while living overseas. So you need to go to the website of your local Brazilian consulate. There they'll have a form that you need to download and fill out. And then they'll have a list of all the documents they need. So they'll need to see your passport, your birth certificate that you haven't got any criminal convictions. If you're married, then they'll need to see your marriage certificate and birth certificate for your kids. Because with a student visa, you can bring over your wife and kids if you have a family. They'll also ask for the acceptance letter from the university or language school. And they might also ask that you have private health insurance. And also they might ask for bank statements to prove that you have enough money to support yourself while studying in Brazil. Because with most student visas, you're not allowed to work in Brazil. Now, there's no specific rule of how much money you need to have in your bank account to prove that you can support yourself while studying in Brazil, but in general, they say you need around $1,000 per month. So if you want to study for 12 months in Brazil, you would need around $12,000 in your bank account. And depending on the Brazilian consulate near you, you might send the form off with the documents, and then they'll look at it and send it back to you, or you might need to book an appointment and actually go there and present the documents and answer questions. And then you need to pay a fee, which is usually less than $200 to get the visa. And then the processing time for the visa is usually a couple of weeks, but it depends on your local consulate and the amount of workload they have. Okay, so that's how to get a student visa for Brazil. Now, student visas are pretty popular because they're a bit simpler to apply for, and also you need less money compared to some of the other visas. So I did another video on investor visa, and with that visa you need over $200,000 in order to get that visa. So with a student visa you need a lot less, but saying that, it's still not insignificant amounts of money that you need. Because if you want to study for a year, for example, you need to show that you have about $12,000 in cash to support yourself, and then you spend $400 or $500 per month on school fees. So it's still a significant amount of money. Okay, so I hope you liked this video. Please leave a like, subscribe. If you've got any comments or questions, leave in the commentary below. So thanks for watching. Until next time.